Hello and welcome to March 17th, where we're reading Numbers 34 through 36. These chapters finish out the book of Numbers, setting boundaries on the land as well as appointing specific cities to serve in special purposes. That's the end of the book of Numbers before we get into Deuteronomy tomorrow. But before we get there, there's some important stuff in these chapters too. God's victory is so assured that you see him setting boundaries for the promised land even before Israel starts moving in and conquering the promised land. That's a funny thing. But God is so sure he knows that he is going to win for them, so that he goes ahead and doles out the land allotments and allows them to start orienting their minds towards this. Since he is the one directing this, since he is the one who determines who wins and who loses in various conflicts, God here is determining that Israel is about to win everything. If you want a more specific breakdown of what's in each individual chapter, in chapter 34, God starts setting some different boundaries for the land. And so he sets the southern edge, the western edge, the northern edge, the eastern edge, just making sure that Israel knows, hey, this is your plot of land. Don't go outside that. That's not yours. But this is the bit that God is giving you, and restricting them to that, freeing them up to take that, but also restricting them to only that. That is God's way of setting boundaries on Israel. In chapter 35, you go into a bunch of different cities, because if you remember, the person of Levi committed some crimes, and so in the end of Genesis, he was cursed with never being able to settle in his own land. Same with Simeon. But Levi is also the tribe of the priests. And so what God does with Levi is very interesting. Instead of getting one section where all the Levites live and all the priests live and stuff like that, Levi actually gets 48 cities that are spread throughout the rest of the land of Canaan. Those are where all the Levites live. Specifically, there are 6 cities that are called the cities of refuge that are used for shelter if you are a criminal unintentionally. If you unintentionally kill someone, you can hide from the blood avenger in those cities. You can shelter there and stay safe because God is protecting those who accidentally do crimes. If you purposefully do a crime, they'll kick you out and kill you. That's the rule. Numbers 36, when you get there, is this weird account that circles all the way back to, I forget what chapter, it was earlier on. It was the guy who only had daughters and their father died and they didn't know where the inheritance went. And so Numbers 36 actually has the account of Moses and God solving that problem and making sure that the promises they made earlier on in the book actually come to fruition here at the end of the book of Numbers. That's your reading for today. That's the end of that book, and tomorrow we'll go into Deuteronomy. So I hope to see you tomorrow, March 18th, and we'll be reading those first 2 chapters of Deuteronomy.